here at the Grafton High School auditorium. Before we begin, just a few reminders for you. We want to use our best assembly or concert etiquette, our best manners. The man who you are to see today has wonderful stories to tell and wonderful songs to share. And I hope that you all have an opportunity to really enjoy it. But we all need to be respectful to one another, make sure that we're not talking while he's talking, and that we make sure that we give him a really big round of applause when it's appropriate. There's a few people I'd like to thank before we start today. First of all, I'd like to thank Grafton Area Live Arts. This is an organization in Grafton that does a phenomenal job of bringing just all kinds of performers to Grafton and really help our culture and our community. They're sponsoring a concert tonight, which is one of the reasons that we were able to bring Mr. Herman here today. I would also like to thank Grafton High School for the use of their auditorium, Mr. Dimmer and Mr. Grabaskus, who helped set up this morning. I'd like to thank Angela Mack, one of Grafton's own blues performers, who really did a fine job of getting these performances organized today. She's with us today. Thank you for being here, Angela. I'd like to thank the PACE group. This is Kennedy Elementary's parent group, who sponsored this morning's concert and also a workshop for our fourth graders at Kennedy this afternoon. And last of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Martica and Mr. Levinska for allowing students from Grafton Elementary School and Woodview Elementary to also be with us this morning. Our performer today is Michael Hawkeye Herman. He is a blues storyteller. He leads a very active touring schedule of performances at festivals, concerts, school programs, and workshops. Hawkeye performs a wide variety of traditional blues, ballads, swing, and original tunes on all kinds of guitars and string instruments. His music has been included in video documentaries and 3 hit theatrical productions, and his solo CD, Blues Alive, released in 1998, was greeted by rave reviews and greatly increased the demand for his live performances at major blues and folk festivals. His newest CD, It's All Blues to Me, was released in May of 2004. In May of 1998, Hawkeye received the Keeping the Blues Alive Award for Achievement in Education from the Blues Foundation in Memphis. The award was a result of over 24 years of blues educational programs he has done for students of all ages. He began this effort long before most blues support organizations and blues festivals even existed. Hawkeye has helped to initiate in-school educational programs for many blues societies and has single-handedly introduced blues music workshops to major festivals. He's the co-founder of the Rogue Valley Blues Festival in his current home of Southern Oregon. If you'd all give a really huge round of applause.
Thank Mr. Altadell for a wonderful introduction and for helping arrange to have me here, as well as Angela Mack. Thank you so much. Could you put your hands together for them, because they made all the My name is Michael Hawkeye Herman. They call me Hawkeye. You guys can call me Mr. Hawkeye. I'm going to be at Kennedy Elementary. The first thing I want to do is say good morning to Woodview, Grafton Elementary, and Kennedy Elementary. Good morning, guys. Can you hear my guitar okay? I'm going to play the guitar for you, and I'm going to tell you some stories. We're going to have some fun. They might have to call the fun police on us today. I'm not sure. But I know we're going to have some fun, and I'm going to play the guitar for you. The first thing I want to tell you is that they call me Hawkeye because us blues musicians have nicknames. Like if your name is Pamela, your friends might call you Pam. And if your name is William, your friends might call you Bill. Us blues musicians have nicknames like B.B. King. His real name is Riley King, but everybody calls him B.B. King because when he was in junior high school, he got a guitar. And everybody started calling him Blues Boy King. They'd say, "Here comes Blues Boy King." Well, that got to be too much to say. So they took the B from blues and the B from boy, and they shortened it to B.B. King. And the reason they call me Hawkeye is because I grew up in Iowa, and Iowa is the Hawkeye state. Wisconsin is the Badger state. If I would have grown up in Wisconsin, I guess my blues nickname would be Michael Badger Herman. But I grew up in Iowa, and that's the Hawkeye state. So you guys can call me Mr. Hawkeye. I'm going to play some blues for you. And I'm going to tell you some stories. And I'm hoping that you have a good time. And you get to see a professional musician up close. Maybe some of you might decide to go into music when you get to be older. That's why I came here. You know, when I was in elementary school, they didn't bring a professional musician to my school. And if they would have, when I was in 3rd grade, I would have begged my parents for a guitar by the time I was in 4th grade. I've talked enough right here. I gotta play the guitar. Can you hear okay? Good. How does it sound? I'm gonna boogie woogie. I'm gonna tell you about the boogie woogie. Listen. Are you with me? Are you with me? That's what I thought first thing in the morning. Listen close, listen. That's me walking down the road. I got my boots on. This is called an instrumental. The reason why it's called an instrumental is because I'm not singing. Just the instrument is playing. The word instrumental has the word instrument in it. You think you can remember the word instrumental? Everybody say instrumental. When you hear a song on the radio or on a CD and there's no words, just the music, no words, just the music like Hawkeye's doing now, that's an instrumental. I'm playing an instrumental. But I got a boogie woogie way up on the strings. Boogie woogie. See how my head moves up and down when I do the boogie? I can't help myself. Makes me feel so good. And I can tell some of you down front doing the same thing. If we were in the gym, you'd be dancing. I'm going to do it again. Here I go. Listen. Are we having fun yet? That's what I thought. I got to play the boogie woogie a little bit more because this is first thing in the morning. There's some kids way in the back. Can you hear me okay back there? I can see you bouncing up and down. Here I go, way up on the strings. Boogie woogie. Yes, I think they're going to have to call the fun police on us today. The fun police are going to have to come up to Grafton High School, and they're going to take us all in the buses down to the fun police station. Everybody boogie, here we go! First thing in the morning, I don't see those teachers boogie woogieing. Look at your teachers, are they boogie woogieing? I think they're starting to get the idea now. Let's boogie woogie one more time. Here we go, everybody boogie woogie. This is an instrumental. Listen. It's an instrumental. I never sang. Did you notice that I can talk at the same time I play? That's because for me, playing the guitar, it's just like talking. I've been doing it my whole life. I'm going to do it one more time, and then I'm going to take it home. I'm doing the boogie woogie. Close to Grafton, Wisconsin. I better slow down. I better slow down. The speed limit is 20 miles per hour. I gotta slow down. As I slow down, I see Grafton Elementary School. I see Woodview Elementary School. And I see Kennedy Elementary School. And I'm gonna pull into the parking lot at the high school now that I've slowed down to the school speed limit. And I'm going to pull into the parking lot, and I'm going to stop my car and get my guitars and come into the auditorium and say, "Good morning, Grafton, Wisconsin." Can you put your hands together? Thank you. You guys are being a great audience. I have a lot of information that I want to share with you, and we only have an hour, and that seems to go by really fast when Mr. Hawkeye plays the blues. An hour can go by really slowly if you're doing something that you don't like, but an hour can go by really fast when you're doing something you love, like playing outside. But when you're in school, maybe in arithmetic class or in reading class, and you haven't done your homework, the hour can go by really slowly. But when you're out on the playground having fun, 15 minutes at recess seems to go by really quickly. Let's look at my guitar for a second. Everybody look at my guitar. How many of you have friends or relatives, moms, dads, uncles, aunts, brothers, or sisters that have a guitar? Everybody raise their hand. Look around. Everybody else look around. Look how many guitars there are in closets in Grafton, Wisconsin. My goodness. Okay, everybody put your hands down. Now, the reason why I do that is because I want you to know that the guitar is the most popular instrument in America. And sometimes when I'm in grade schools, children will raise their hand and I'll call on them and they'll say, "Mr. Hawkeye, my grandma has a guitar." Then I'll call on somebody else and they'll say, "Mr. Hawkeye, my uncle has a guitar." And before I know it, the whole hour has gone by and all we've done is listen to children tell me that their brother has a guitar and their mom has a guitar. And what you guys just saw is, it seems like most people have guitars, or lots of people have guitars. Let's look at mine. Everybody look up this way. I'm going to ask you a question. I don't want you to say anything. Think the answer. And when you know, raise your hand, and I'll give you a hint, too. How many strings on a guitar? Don't say anything. Raise your hand if you know. And here's the hint. Listen closely. Here's a hint. I think the direct box needs to be turned on. I'm going to do that again. Here's the hint. Can you hear that in the house? One more hint. Listen. How many strings on a guitar? Everybody tell me. There's 6 strings on a guitar, and if you look close, what you'll see is, look, everybody look, this string is thick. And this string is thinnest. And the thickest strings are low. And the thinnest string is high. Now listen again. As the strings go from thick to thin, they get higher. Listen. Now here's something fun that you can do at home and don't hurt yourself when you do it. Look what I have in my hand. Just a second. This microphone seems to have a mind of its own. I have a rubber band. Here's the rubber band. Now if I just take this rubber band and do this, doesn't make any sound, doesn't make any music. But if I take this rubber band and I stretch it, that's called tension. Tension. Everybody say tension. Tension. That's tension. This is relaxation. Everybody who can sit in their chair right now and relax. And sometimes your teacher might say to you, please relax, you're a little bit tense. I'm going to take this rubber band and I'm going to put it under tension. Watch, tension. It's under tension now. And now when I pluck it, do you notice that I didn't put the rubber band in my mouth? That I put it between my thumbs like this? And I stretched it out in front of me? This is not my first rodeo with elementary school children, you know. We don't want to put this in our mouths because it's dirty, don't know where it's been. Might have been around the newspaper laying in the driveway. You know, it's dirty, don't put it in your mouth. Put it between your thumbs like this. Now watch and listen. Shh, listen. Makes no noise like this. But if I put it under tension, listen. Shh, listen. It's vibrating. Everybody say vibration. Say it again, vibration. Oh, yes, we've learned something already. Now watch, tension and vibration. Now, if I put more tension on it, it's going to be higher. Listen, it's going to be real high. Listen, higher. I'm plucking it with one of my fingers over here. Now I'm going to relax it just a little bit. Less tension. Listen, it's lower. Tension and vibration is how the guitar works. Everybody look at my guitar. Look, how similar to my strings. Tension and vibration. Now my strings are under tension. Listen, everybody loves this. Do you see these things up here? That's what puts tension on my strings. Listen, almost all first graders love this sound. I'm going to relax the tension. Listen. Now I'm going to increase the tension. Listen. And now it's back where it should be. All the strings are under tension and vibration. But wait a minute, there's one more thing about the guitar. I'm wanting to play some music again. I've got to finish telling you about how the guitar works. I want you to know how the guitar works so you can go home and tell your little brother or little sister how the guitar works, or even your mom and dad. The guitar is under tension and vibration, but when I pluck this rubber band, it's not so loud. When I pluck this guitar string, it's really loud. And the reason why is because of this box. Listen. The guitar is like a drum, but with strings on it. So that I pluck the string with under tension, listen, and it rolls around inside of this box and it comes out here. It comes out here, and that's what makes it louder, and that's what makes a guitar work. Now, one more thing before I play. Maybe two. I play with a pick. Here it is. I put a pick on my thumb, and the reason why is because if I play without a pick, these strings are made out of metal, and my finger would hurt, my thumbs would hurt after a while, and so I protect my fingers with a pick. And there's another reason. Listen how soft it is. Listen. But if I put this pick on my thumb, it's much louder. Now there's one more thing about Mr. Hawkeye's guitar before he plays that he has to tell you about. That's these feathers. Everyone asks me about these feathers. And when I sit close to kindergartners and first graders, they like to bat at my feathers like a kitty cat that can't resist. The reason why I hang feathers on my guitar is because my name is Mr. Hawkeye. And there's some hawk feathers on here, and there's a bluebird feather, and there's a dove feather. And the reason why I hang feathers on my guitar is because my job is to fly with music so that you can all fly along with me. It's time for me to play the guitar. I said I could play the guitar and make it talk just like me, and that's the truth, because for me, playing music is just like talking. Listen, everybody listen. You know what? I was in Rockford, Illinois 2 days ago, and the 4th grade class said, Mr. Hawkeye, can you do that with your eyes closed? It seems like you can play the guitar without looking at your hands. And I said, sure, 4th grade, I can play with my eyes closed. And this is what I did. I went like this. Watch. I went. And I just for a second, my eyes fluttered open. And all the 4th graders went, oh, you cheated. You opened your eyes. And this is what I did. I did this. Can I see my hands now? I don't think so. They didn't criticize me anymore after that. No, no. So now it's time for me to play a funny blues song. I want you to listen closely to the words, because a lot of people say that blues music is sad. But this is a funny song. And on this song that I'm going to play for you, it's called Your Mind is on Vacation and Your Mouth is Working Overtime. And I can't tell you how many teachers in the last 30 years have asked me to write down the words to this song for them so that they can remind their students that their minds sometimes are on vacation and their mouths sometimes are working overtime. And I think Mr. Hawkeye's is too. Here I go. Here we go. You sitting talking, Mr. Hawkeye's face. I have to put you in your place. You know if silence was golden, Grafton Elementary couldn't raise a dime. Because their minds are on vacation, their mouths are working, overtime. I'm going to say that again for those of you in the back that weren't listening. You sitting talking, Mr. Hawkeye's face. I have to put you in your place. You know if silence was golden, Woodview Elementary couldn't raise a dime. Because their minds are on vacation, their mouths are working, overtime. And I'm going to tell you something else as long as I've got your attention. You're quoting figures, you're dropping names, you're telling stories, you're playing games, you're over laughing when things ain't funny. You're trying to act like big money, you know, talk was criminal. Kennedy Elementary School would be leading a life of crime. Because their minds are on vacation, their mouths are working, overtime. Maybe Mr. Hawkeye's mouth is working overtime too. I'm going to play the guitar. Listen. You know that life is short. Talk like this song I'm singing, grin and bear it. All I can say is if the shoe fits, wear it, and if you must keep talking, how about trying to make it right? Because your mind is on vacation, your mouth is working overtime. Hey! I said your mind is on vacation, your mouth is working overtime. Thank you so much. I think it's time we sang a song together. Wait a second here. I happen to know a song that just about everybody knows, and everybody thinks it's a kid's song. I know 2 of them. I know 3 of them. I might know 2,000 or 3,000 of them, actually. But I'm only going to do a couple of them here. Everybody listen to this. I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away. Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain shouting? Dinah, blow your horn. Everybody sing. Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow? Dinah, won't you blow your horn? Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Someone's in the kitchen, I know. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah. Strum the old banjo. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Now I have another one. I don't know if you've heard this one before, and I want you to clap your hands and sing along with this one too. I have a reason for just about everything I do, and I'm going to tell you that reason after we sing one more song. Everybody sing with me. Listen. You know, this little rhythm that I'm doing right here is what makes country music. It's bo chicka bo chicka bo chicka bo chicka bo. I could sing. I hear the train coming, it's rolling around the bend. Or I could sing. Jump, I could sing. Goodbye, Joe, me gotta go, me oh my oh. But what I'm gonna sing for you is gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute, jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Who can sing with me like this? Like this. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. See if you can keep up with Mr. Hawkeye. Here I go. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Faster. Faster. All right, here we go, here I go. Watch, my fingers are gonna be a blur. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute. Jump down, spin around, take a minute, jump down, spin around, take a minute. Oh Lordy, take a minute, oh Lordy, take a minute. Gonna jump down, spin around, take a minute, gonna jump down, spin around, pick-a-baby-dee. Give yourself a big round of applause. Thank you. Now I have a reason why I did that, and we needed to work off some early morning energy. But I know that those of you in the back can't see this picture. I should have a projector so that I can project this. But here's a picture of people picking cotton. Everybody, look up here, and you might be able to see in the first few rows and halfway back that these people are working in the sun, and it's not an easy job. And they're wearing hats, and they're bent over in the cotton fields. Everybody look up here. And on the other side of this, I have a picture of men working on the railroad. Now, they're working in the hot sun too. Everybody look up here. What I wanted to tell you is the songs that I just did for you. You guys think that those are kids' songs. Everybody just listen. Just listen. I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. First of all, children go to school. They don't work. They're not supposed to work until they get older. So this song is not about children. It's about adults who sang this song while they worked. And what about this song? Gonna jump down, spin around, pick a baby cotton. Gonna jump down, spin around, pick a baby day. That's a work song. Everybody say work song. It's a work song. And you know why I'm telling you about work songs? Because sometimes your mother might say to you the worst thing that you want to hear. She might say to you, or your dad might say to you, go, please, and clean your room. And you will say, because it's the worst job that every child hates to do. There's a couple of them, but cleaning your room is one of the worst jobs that ever, and you will say, but Mom, I don't want to clean my room. My stinky socks are way under the bed where I hid them. And I don't want to go under the bed and fish out those stinky socks. And my dirty jeans are all piled up in the closet, and I don't want to mess around with my stinky jeans. And your mom or your dad will say, you need to clean your room. And what you should say is this: I'll clean my room if I can listen to music while I play and clean my room. And the reason why is because music makes work go easier. Do you remember I sang, go to jump down, spin around, pick a cotton? Those people worked at a hard job, and they didn't do this while they worked. They didn't do this. Oh, I hate this job. My fingers hurt. Look, at the sun is out, and it's so hot, and I'm sweating, and I have to bend over in the cotton field. Oh my goodness, I hate this job. If they would have done that, the job would have gone so slowly, it would have seemed like a day was 3 days. But instead, they sang, gonna jump down, spin around, pick a bit of cotton. Gonna jump down, spin around, pick a bit a day. And so when you have to clean your room, what you should do is say to your mom or your dad, can I listen to music while I work? And the time will go much faster. And if you have to rake the leaves, this is the job that I hated the most. My mom or dad would say, would you please go out, grab the rake and rake the leaves? And I would say, I hate that job. Every time I get the leaves raked up after an hour into a big pile, the wind comes along and blows them back all over the yard. And my mom or dad would say, that's the way it is. You got to rake the leaves. And what I would do is say, can I take my radio out in the yard with me and listen to music while I rake the leaves? And my mom or dad would say yes. And you know what? That job would go by so quickly, I wished I could rake my neighbor's leaves. That's the truth. And I've got one more thing to tell you about work songs. The reason why there's a radio in the car is because if you had to get in the car and drive to Madison or down to Milwaukee, and you didn't have a radio or a stereo in the car, after about 2 miles, you'd be climbing the windows of the car, and you'd be saying to your mom or dad, oh, I'm bored, how so much longer, when are we going to get there? But if you put on a Walkman, or you put on the radio or the stereo in a car, the time on the highway goes by much quicker. And what we learned from that is Music makes things go quicker. That's why I sing about picking cotton. Can be fun if you make it musical like this. Gonna jump down, spin around, pick cotton. Gonna jump down, spin around, pick a oh Lord, pick cotton. Oh Lord, pick a gonna jump down, spin around, pick cotton. Jump down, spin around, pick a oh Lord, pick cotton. Oh Lord, pick a jump down, spin around, pick a cotton. Jump down, spin around, pick a and if you don't have a stereo or a Walkman, you can pick up the rake, and as you rake the leaves, you can sing. I've been working on the leaf rake all the live long day. I've been working on the leaf rake just to pass the time away. Can't you hear my mother shout? Rise up so early in the morning. Can't you hear my daddy saying, I'm gonna blow my horn. Daddy, won't you blow, Daddy, won't you blow, Daddy, won't you blow your horn, your horn. Daddy, won't you blow, Daddy, won't you blow, Daddy, won't you blow your horn. Someone in the kitchen with Dinah, someone in the kitchen I know. Someone in the kitchen with Dinah, drumming on the old banjo. B-5-I-O, B-5-I-O-I-O, B-5-I-O. Drumming on the old banjo. Can you give yourselves a big round of applause, please? There's a reason why, Mr. Hawkeye. Thank you so much. There's a reason why the time goes so quick. Can you believe I only have an hour with you and we only have 15 or 20 minutes left, and I still have more music for you, and I have a surprise in that case there. Everybody's good and quiet. I took this guitar out of that case, and one of the reasons why I put him on the stage is almost everyone in elementary school loves stickers. And I wanted you to see my stickers and decals on my case. On this one, you'll see there's one that says Union Pacific Railroad. There's stickers from France and Germany and Iowa and Illinois. Did you know that Mr. Hawkeye came 2,000 miles all the way to Grafton, Wisconsin just to see you? I live in the mountains of Southern Oregon. I don't live in Minneapolis. I don't live in Milwaukee. I live 2,000 miles away. And everywhere I go, I try to get a decal or a sticker to put on my guitar case so I can remember where I've been. I hope I can find a decal or a sticker here in Grafton that I can put on my case so people will know that I came to Grafton, Wisconsin. Now, I come here to teach you just one thing, and this is the most important part now that you've all worked off your energy. And you've all had a great time. Have we been having some fun?
Yeah!
Have we been having some fun? Me too. First thing in the morning, there's nothing like having fun first thing in the morning. You know, I'm going to get to go over to Kennedy Elementary School and sit with the fourth graders this afternoon and play the guitar and teach them some blues music, just us. And I'm hoping that maybe sometime I can come back to Grafton and come to just your school and maybe spend the whole day. But this is the only thing. Remember I talked about, I gave you 3 new words. Let me think. Here's our quiz. I said, instrumental. And I told you about tension and vibration. I think your teachers will remember this. And when they get back to school into the classroom, they'll write those words on the board so that you can see what they look like and how they're spelled. But the reason why I come here, and this is the most important part, so I want everybody to have their listening caps on as well as their thinking caps, because this is the only thing that I want you to remember. If I come back to Grafton area in 10 years and you're in high school or junior high school, I want you to be able to walk up to me and I want you to be able to say this, because this is why I come here. The blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. That's why Mr. Hawkeye has been asked to come to Grafton. This is what I tell all children all over the world. Listen again. The blues had a baby, they called it rock and roll. me feel? Everybody quiet. It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Now, everybody look at my guitar. Everybody eyes up here. Everybody look at my left hand. That's this one. I said, everybody look at my left hand. That's this one. You see how my fingers are moving up and down? This is the boogie woogie. This is why Mr. Hawkeye picked up the guitar when he was 12 years old, so that he could do the boogie woogie. And Mr. Hawkeye is not 12 years old anymore, but Mr. Hawkeye still gets up every morning and does the boogie woogie. And I still love it. And sometimes when I really get into it, it makes me go. Now you could be out on the playground at recess, and you hear the bell ring at recess, and you turn to your best friend and you say, there's the bell. We better boogie. Or your mom or your dad might say, I want you to go to the quick stop, to the minute market, to the store, and I want you to get me a quart of milk. Here's the money. I want you to get on your bicycle, and I want you to come right home. And you better boogie. Or you might go to a birthday party. And when you come home from that birthday party, your little brother or your little sister might say to you, did you have a good time at the birthday party? And you would say, have a good time. Everybody was boogieing. This is the boogie. Everybody say boogie. Everybody say boogie woogie. I love to do the boogie woogie. Mr. Hawkeye is going to do the boogie woogie all the way across the room. Now, do you remember what I said? The boogie woogie is blues. And what Mr. Hawkeye said was he wanted to teach you just one thing, and that's this. Listen to me. The blues have a baby and they call it rock and roll. I'm going to say it again. Listen while I do the boogie. The blues have a baby. They call it rock and roll. You know how it makes me feel? It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Now, we've got some high school students in here that are taking musical theory. They're learning something just like you guys. And you know something? Everybody listen. I'm going to have you sing this song with me. Yes, they're in the back. Everybody listen. Shh, shh, shh. The high school students would say, Mr. Hawkeye, we're not in elementary school. We're in high school. As a matter of fact, today is, and this weekend is homecoming for those of us here in Grafton High School. And because we're in high school, you're going to have to prove it to us. And I would say, you know what? You could read 10 books on the history of music, high school students and elementary school students. And you wouldn't necessarily get from those books what you're going to get from me in the next 2 minutes. Here it is. I said the blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. Now, the high school students might say, oh, I don't know about that. You better prove it to me, because I don't know. Blues is blues and rock and roll is rock and roll. Everybody look at my left hand. This is why I'm here. This right now, this 5 minutes right here. Everybody look at my left hand. That's this one. My fingers are moving up and down, doing the boogie woogie. And in the 1950s, people like Chuck Berry and Bo Diddley and Bill Haley and so many rock and rollers, life was faster. There were jet planes, there were fast trains. Life was faster. And so they took the blues blues that I'm playing right now that's a boogie-woogie, and they did the exact same thing that I'm doing on the guitar, but they did it faster. I'm going to do it faster. I'm going to count to 4, and I'm going to change this boogie-woogie into rock and roll, and this is what you're going to remember for the rest of your lives. That the blues had a baby, and they called it rock and roll, and I'm going to count to 4, and this is the same thing that I'm doing on the guitar right now is going to become everything that we know is rock and roll. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 3 1/4, 3 1/2, 3 3/4, 3 15/16, 3 31 32nds, 3 63 64ths, 4. Deep down in Louisiana, down in New Orleans, back up in the woods, up in the evergreens, there's a pine log shack made of earth and wood. There's a country boy named Johnny B. Good. Never learned to read and write so well, but he could play guitar just like a regular bell. Go, 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 Johnny, go, go, go. 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 Go, go, Johnny, be good. Everybody settle down for a second. I know it's hard to do. Everybody look at my left hand again. That's this one. Look at my fingers. I'm doing the same thing that I was doing when I played the blues, but I'm just playing it faster. You see, life got faster. And when life got faster, they decided to make the music faster. So that's why Mr. Hawkeye says this. The blues had a baby and called it rock and roll. Can you all sing that with me? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The blues had a baby, they called it rock and roll. That's what I want you to say to me when you bump into me at the mall 10 years from now or 20 years from now. I want you to come up to me and say, the blues, they call it rock and roll. And then I want you to tell me how it makes you feel, and I want you to point to your head and point to your toes, just like this. How does it make you feel? Like this. It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Everybody sing it with me. Here we go. The blues have a call. I hear you. Say it again. Here we go. The blues. You can sing this all the way through. You all get an A from Mr. Hawkeye. How does it make you feel? It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. That's why I'm here. Now I just happen to think of something. Wait a minute. I just happen to think of something. When you guys come home from school and you get off the bus or you get out of the car at home, you run in the house and you take off your jacket and you put your books down on the table and you hang your jacket up if you're a good boy or a good girl. And then as you run to the refrigerator to get your after-school snack, or you run to the TV to turn on SpongeBob, or you run out into the yard to play with the dog or the cat, or the neighbor kids, your mom or your dad, while you're taking off your jacket and putting your books down and running to the refrigerator or to the TV or out in the yard, your mom or your dad will say to you, what did you learn in school today? And I know what you say every day. And this is what you say. You say, nothing. Right? Everybody tell me, when you come home from school and your mom or dad says, what did you learn in school today? What do you usually say? You usually say nothing, and the reason why you say nothing is because you're so glad to be home from school that you want to get a snack after school, and you want to watch TV, and you want to play, and you don't want to stop for a minute and tell your mom or your dad what you learned in school today. And let me tell you something. If your teacher was hiding behind the front door of your house, or Mr. Off-the-Dome, the principal at Kennedy Elementary, was at your house hiding behind the door, and you came in and you took off your jacket and put your books down and ran to the refrigerator to get a snack, and while you did that, your mom or your dad said, what did you learn at school today? And you say, Mr. Off hiding behind the door and they would hear you say that, and they would have big crocodile tears in their eyes. And they would start to cry because every day they come to school to teach you, and they try so hard to make you understand that knowledge is power. Are you listening to me? Knowledge is power. Your teachers work so hard. And let me tell you something. Teachers love children. They do. Listen to me. Listen to Mr. Hawkeye. The teachers love teaching and they love children. And the reason why I know that is because they don't get paid very much. So they must do it because they love it. So when you come home from school, this is what I want you to do. Instead of saying nothing, say this. I want you to stop when your mom or dad says, what did you wear in school today? After you put your jacket down. Before you run to the refrigerator, your mom or your dad says, what did you wear in school today? And you're going to stop. And you're going to look at your mom or your dad. And you're going to say this. Your mom or your dad might faint just by the fact that you stopped. You're going to say this. The blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. Did you know that your mom or your dad might not know that? You might know something that they don't know. And so you're going to say it again. You're going to say, the blues. That's right. And how does it make you feel? It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Oh, I just thought of something else. Everybody stand up, including teachers. Please stand up. Everybody's standing up. If you guys are really good at this, we're almost out of time. I will stay overtime. If you guys are really good at this, I will open up that case and show you what's in that case there, because it's something very, very special. It's my talking guitar. This is what I want you guys to do. Are you with me? Are you with me? Everybody listen. You're going to come home from school. You're going to wait until your mom or your dad asks you this question. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. I got a feeling the bus drivers are going to be singing this song by the end of the week, and maybe next week too. This is what you're going to do. Your mom or your dad is going to say, what did you learn in school today? And instead of running to the refrigerator or running to the TV, and the teachers are going to do this too. Keep your eye on the teachers. This is a lesson for everyone. You're going to stop. You're going to put one foot in front of the other, like that. You're going to put one hand on your hip like this. You're going to turn your chin up in the air just a little bit, but not too snotty. And you're going to look at your mom or your dad, and this is what you're going to say. As you tap your foot, you're going to say, the blues have a baby and they call it rock and roll. And your mom or your dad is going to say, what? I don't believe you said that. Would you say that again? And you're going to say, the blues have a baby and they call it rock and roll. And you're going to tell them how it makes you feel. Don't forget to point to your head and to point to your toes. And you're going to say, it makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Did you see your teachers do it? No, I didn't see all the teachers do it. The teachers are not doing as well as the students. The students are all going to get A's and the teachers are going to get C's. We're going to do it again. Thank you, Mr. Oftedal, for turning up the lights so that we can check on all the teachers. The reason why I come here is to teach everyone. And guess what? Your mom or your dad is not going to be so surprised. They're going to pick up the phone and they're going to call your grandma or your grandpa. And they're going to say, Grandma, Grandpa, you're not going to believe this, but every day when I come home, my child comes home from school, I say, what did you learn in school today? And they usually say nothing. But today, my child stopped, and this is what my child said, and your mom or your dad's going to hold out the phone. And since your mom or dad's going to hold out the phone so your grandma or your grandpa can hear them, you've got a different audience. Put your other foot forward. Put your other hand on your other hip. I'm looking at the teachers now. You're going to tap your toe. And this is what you're going to say for Grandma and Grandpa. You're going to say, because Grandma and Grandpa might not know what you learned in school today, because they didn't come to see Mr. Hawkeye. You're going to say, Mr. Hawkeye proved to me today that the blues have. And that's why Mr. Hawkeye came to our school. Say it again. The blues. Now I want you to point to your head and point to your toes. Tell them how it makes you feel. Here we go. It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. For an A, let's sing it one more time and I'll take out my other guitar. Here we go. The blues have been. Everybody boogie. Rock and roll. Boogie woogie. Say it again. The blues. That's right. And tell me how it makes you feel. It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Just to make sure, first thing in the morning, tell me how it makes you feel one more time. It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Give yourselves a big round of applause. Have we had some fun today? Yeah! We learned about what an instrumental is. We learned about tension and vibration, and the most important thing that you will remember, I know that you'll remember this for the rest of your lives. You'll remember that the blues had a baby and they called it rock and roll. Now I said if you were really good, I was only supposed to play till 10 o'clock, and now it's 5 minutes after, but you guys were so good, I'm going to open up this case, which I didn't do in Rockford. I was at 2 schools in Rockford, and they didn't get to see this guitar, and there's a special reason why. I'm going to open it up for you now. Watch. I thought you'd like this guitar. Now this guitar has a feather on it like my other guitar, but everybody has been very observant. I know, and they can see that this guitar is a little bit different than my other guitar. It has this metal plate on it, right here. You can see that metal plate. I hope you'll be able to hear it. Wait a second, listen. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Mr. Oftedal has done an unbelievable job with the sound today. And I can't believe I haven't had to work very hard. I have to put my strap on like this. You notice that I have my name on all my guitar straps. That's so that I don't forget my name. And I said this is my talking guitar. This is a very special guitar. This guitar was made in 1934. That's 71 years ago. Now this guitar, look closely. This guitar is older than most of your grandparents. This guitar goes way back before there were electric guitars. This guitar is 71 years old, but it's in better shape than Mr. Hawkeye is. This guitar is my talking guitar. Everybody listen, I need you to be real quiet because it doesn't have a real big voice. Shh, listen. I put this slide on the pinky of my finger like that on the left hand. And then I take this slide and I move it on my strings and it makes the guitar talk. Now the guitar can't talk without me playing it. I can't put it over there in the corner and say, talk guitar. But if I play it with this slide, it will talk, especially if it's in tune. Everybody quiet, listen. Mama, Mama. Again? Yeah! Mama, I want to go outside and play. I want to go outside and play. Mama, magic word. Magic word. Gotta use the magic word. Mama, please. I'm gonna say that again. Mama, Mama, I wanna go outside and play. Better use the magic word. Mama, please. Put your hands together for the talking guitar. I'm not done. One more thing. Yes. Everybody listen real close. Listen real close. My guitar is gonna talk to you and sing a song, and you raise your hand when you think you know what my guitar is saying. Ready? Oh, look at the pretty reflections on the wall of my guitar is doing. Yeah, even Mr. Hawkeye likes that. Okay, everybody listen, look up here. See if you can guess what my guitar is saying, and when you know, raise your hand. Don't say anything. I'm going to play something that I did for you earlier today. See if you recognize it. Listen. I want you to tell me how it makes you feel. What was my guitar saying? The blues have... That's right, say it again. The blues... Oh yeah, tell me how it makes you feel. It makes me feel good from my head down to my toes. Now everybody quiet for a second and listen to my guitar sing all by itself, instrumental. Boogie woogie.